Jesus loved the little children.
Hi guys, I hope y'all are having a wonderful week. For those of you who read my blog, you know that this week is going to be a little bit different. For those of you who don't, a fair warning, this is not a hair tutorial. This is not a makeup tutorial. This is a video about what I did this weekend and how it has changed my outlook on life and has taught me so much. This week I went through a extreme poverty simulation. So I guess starting Friday, we were pretty much told that we weren't going to keep everything that we brought, and I had a sleeping bag, my backpack, my journal, and a toothbrush for the rest of the weekend. The clothes that I had on were quickly taken away, and I had to get, I remember waking up in the middle of the night having to go to the bathroom, but my feet were so cold and like numb that I couldn't feel that I was walking on them, so I was like stumbling to the bathroom. Waking up the next morning wasn't much of a waking up. I don't remember actually ever truly falling to sleep. I was so cold and uncomfortable. I didn't get to eat breakfast that morning, and so I was exhausted. I hadn't eaten, and then we got to go play with kids, which I adored. I adored that experience. Being able to hang out with underprivileged kids in low-income housing was just so awesome because they were just so happy and joyful. They were so cute, and it's just, I feel bad and feel sorry for myself sometimes when I don't have money for frivolous things, and they don't have money sometimes to provide good clothing, and they don't have, their parents don't have money to provide like anything, and they were just so joyous. They didn't care. It was just, it was their life, and they were ready to play and hang out with us, and it was just such a beautiful experience. But it was an exhausting experience. So when me and my group left for what was called the scavenger hunt, one of the #1 tasks that we have to prepare for, or we had to do, was we had to find lunch. I didn't have breakfast, and then I was told that if I didn't find lunch, I wasn't going to have lunch either. And not only that, I wasn't going to be able to get my kids lunch, like the kids that I was taking care of, and I mean, like, they're not kids, but I consider them my kids and everything, for the weekend. And I wasn't going to be able to provide for them. Like, so if I didn't come up with something, and we didn't come up with an idea together to earn money or to get someone to give us food, and begging is illegal. Like, you can't beg, you can't solicit, we can't do any of that stuff because that's illegal. And because of all of those things that are now illegal, we didn't know what we were going to do. So we just started collecting cans. It was just a really hard experience because we were finding them and we weren't finding enough. And then after that, I remember us getting so close, and before we knew that where it actually was, we kind of got what we walked into. She gave us the directions, she called them and she let them know, and it was just right across the thing. So we ended up walking there, and I think I felt like my heart just dropped when I read that it was, all we were gonna get was 56 cents a pound. And I knew we didn't have a pound of aluminum cans. And I was like, even if we did, I wasn't going to be able to feed them on 56 cents. So that was like a hard reality. So when we stepped away from there, we were going to try to collect more cans. At this point, I'm going crazy. We prayed before we left, for the scavenger hunt, and we prayed, and I was just like, God, where are you in this? Because honestly, I've never had to trust God for a meal. I would walk into the pantry, or I would go to McDonald's, or I'd do something because I always had money that, to my knowledge, whenever ever I was old enough. and everything like that. We've always had something. It might not have been what I wanted to eat, but I never had to look for a meal. We continue searching for cans, and while we search for cans, we run into a homeless man, and we were supposed to interview a homeless man was also on there, and it was more of a conversation, not an interview. He had told us that he'd been there for 30 years, and it was just really awesome getting to talk to him. But he could tell that we weren't dressed like normal kids because obviously we were wearing our resale clothes. So he was like, "Sir, what are y'all doing?" And we explained that, well, we gotta go find lunch because lunch isn't gonna be provided. And he was like, "You know what? Go to Salvation Army. It's right up the road, and let them know that Leonard sent you." And we did. So we started walking there, and I got hopeful again. I was like, okay, God, you got this. Anyway, we're on the way there, and we see a homeless guy walking with a huge bag of cans. And as he's walking with a huge bag of cans, I was like, hey guys, we're gonna get food. So let's hand this guy our cans so he can actually get the money, because we don't really have enough anyway. So we hand him all of our cans. The kids are really excited about it, ready to give. And, you know, like, even in our low place, we're like, you know what, we're not, like, this is nothing. We got this, you know, because we're going to get food at Salvation Army. We finally make it to Salvation Army, and it's closed. But there were people in there. So we knocked, and we asked them if we could get food, and not food, that we could get something to drink. And they let us in. They were really sweet about it. And they let us in. We got to chill. But at the same thing, in the back of my head is, what am I gonna do about feeding these kids? And it was just heartbreaking, because this is a question that comes to mind in several people around the world. But in America, they don't know if they're going to be able to feed their children. I remember looking at the kids and literally being, I don't know what we're going to do next. I don't know what to do. I mean, like, we had given away the one thing that we could do was the cans, and we could get for money was the cans, and we gave that away to another homeless person. So we literally were back to square one with nothing. We did learn a lot from the people at Salvation Army. They talked to us, and they were really sweet people. Then one of them walks out of the kitchen, and they bring a huge thing of chips and bags of chips, and they're like, hey, there's salt and vinegar, so they're really strong, but you can have some of these and everything, and just help yourself. And I remember I have never been more excited about a bag of chips in my life. I was just so like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And my eyes were watering up. And then a second later, he walks out with sandwiches. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I have food, and there's food for the kids that I'm watching, and they're gonna be able to eat. And he brings out more than enough. We each had 2 sandwiches, and they just take care of us, and it was perfect. They give us directions back to the place where we're staying, because they know the area so well. And I was just so in awe of everything that happened and everything. And then I had to stop and think. I had never been so desperate and so relying on God and people's generosity to provide for me. I think that was hard for me, to realize that I don't thank him for the things that he naturally provides for. I take it as there's God, and he provides me my emotional support, and then there's the necessities that are just there. So I have my life, and then there's God. But I've never let them become one and the same. I feel like, I know we would have been perfectly fine not eating at lunch. But I feel like God needed to show me, and he certainly did, is why don't I trust him with everything? We didn't have to eat. We were not going to die. But he provided anyway. Why with all these other little things in my life do I not let him provide for me? Why don't I trust someone who has never let me down? The one thing they asked us to do was make a bracelet that they gave us. And they gave us these bracelets. And we had to write 3 words. And my 3 words were trust. Trust. Love. Share and give. I work where I can't necessarily wear a bracelet like that. So my amazing little sister made me one of these. Where it's love, trust, and give. Love, you need to love them. First, you need to know that you are so incredibly loved by the creator of the universe. You are so loved. He thinks you are gorgeous and he wants to provide for you and he cares for you. You're his child. I forget that from time to time. I need to constantly be reminded how much he loves me. Go out and share that love with others. Don't forget about the least of these that he talks about. Trust. I don't trust very easily. I've been hurt so many times in so many ways. But I don't understand after this weekend why I don't trust the one person who has never let me down. This is a reminder to trust him. And the blue comes with giving, but also being thankful. This is not a video to make you feel condemned or awful for having things. That is not a bad thing. You need to be thankful that he gave you stuff and that he provides for you and that he gave your parents a job or he has given you a job and he has given you things and he has provided, and be thankful for that. But also, don't forget to give back. I mean, 1, God loves me and takes care of me. 2, I need to go out and share that love with others. 3, I need to be thankful for what I have. I don't need to feel bad for what I have, but I need to be thankful for it and that he has blessed me. 4, I need to share what he has given me with other people, whether it be my time, my finances, anything. I need to go out and I need to share this with people. And 5, I need to trust that he is in control of my life and that he cares and that he loves me enough that he's going to provide for me, and that he loves me and I need to trust that he loves me. I need to trust that he is in control. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. And as always, remember, it's about beauty from the inside out. Bye, guys.
All the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loved the little children of the world.